I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself or take my video off, and I'm gonna start this video. So hey, just be ready to check out this video. As soon as the video is over, we're gonna start this call, and just be ready. I'll tell you, strap in and get ready for something great. So here we go. Get ready to start the video.
I am tired of myself. When you say I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's the facilitator of change. That's when you're ready to say these words: no more excuses. No more excuses.
I've never met a person who was not successful that didn't have a great amount of self-discipline within their life. Self-discipline and being able to perform and being able to keep your life on schedule and being able to keep commitments and promises and meet deadlines is essential to success. None of us can afford to have a life that is controlled by someone else, or a life that is basically controlled by our emotions. I learned many years ago that there are two kinds of people. There's the type of person who says, I'm going to wait till I feel like it before I do it. And then there's a person who says, I've got to do it so that I feel like it. One will never get anything done because they're still waiting to feel the moment to move. And the other person says, no, I need to move, and then I will begin to feel the movement. Sonia, self-discipline is essential in your life and in my life if we're going to get things done. So I have a challenge for every one of you this weekend. The challenge is simple. As you go through your weekend, and sometimes it's kind of hopefully an easier time of your week, ask yourself, am I practicing self-discipline in my life? Am I doing the things that I should do because I need to do them, or am I kind of waiting to feel the moment?
If you don't know this quote, live by it. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery over oneself. That's Da Vinci. Da Vinci did amazing things with his life. I wanted to do equally amazing things with mine. And if that's the game that we're playing, if I can construct my belief system, if I can choose at any moment to believe something that's more empowering than I was believing the moment before, and that will actually find its way into my actions, allow me to do things that I couldn't do the moment before, then it's like that moment in The Matrix where Neo realizes he knows Kung Fu. And that's like, as funny as that is, that's how I think about life. To me, the very fundamental purpose of life is to find out how many skills I can acquire that have utility, and then put that utility to the test in service of something greater than myself.
Stop comparing yourself to others. So the first thing you do is stop focusing on other people. Instead, focus on being the best version of you that you can. Then you'll recognize that you deserve to sit at the big table with everybody else after you become the best that you can be. Now, once you've accepted that you have as much right to success and much right to succeed as anybody else, the next step is learning how to talk the talk. You have to get fluid in the language of success so you speak it with ease. Surround yourself with people who've accomplished their dreams and immerse yourself in the culture of achievement.
The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. And there they are standing around your bed, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you die today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you? Miles Monroe, great orator and speaker, said the wealthiest place on the planet, it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. Because there you'll find greatness that we've never seen. There you'll find talent and genius and potential never actualized. Perhaps that's why Henry David Thoreau wrote the words, "Oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived." Maybe that's why some unknown writer wrote the words, "What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong, that you were chosen to do something else and you didn't do it." Repeat after me, please. Live full. Die empty. I want you to take some notes and some things, and I want you to think about your goals and dreams in the three categories that I mentioned: personal, professional, and your social contribution. How many of you are serious about your goals and dreams? Raise your hands, please. Thank you very much. How many of you don't want to take your dreams to your grave with you? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Shake someone's hand on your right and left. Look them in the eyes and say, "Get out of your head and step into your greatness." Do that right now, please. Say, "Get out of your head and step into your greatness." I want you to write this down. Let us say together, as you think about your goals and dreams, let us say together, "It's possible," together, please. Yes, write that down. See, ladies and gentlemen, as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. It's my 21st year. I could have been speaking and training for 34 years. But for 14 years, I was living in my head. For 14 years, I stopped myself. For 14 years, I used to go see Zig Ziglar, that I considered the #1 motivational speaker on the planet. Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins, they're the best on the planet. Bob Proctor, they're the best on the planet. Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, T. Harv Eker. I would go and see them, and then I would leave, and my conversation with myself was, my heart would say, "I can do that." And then my mind would ask, how? How would you do that, Les Brown? See, when I was in the 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I have no college training. And a man changed my life, and I'll never forget his name, Mr. Leroy Washington. He's in his 80s now, and he's blind from glaucoma, but he gave me a different vision of myself. I was in his class waiting on another student. He came in and said, "Young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me." I said, "Oh, sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why not?" I said, I'm not one of your students." He said, "Look at me." "Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow." I said, "Sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why?" I said, "Sir, because I'm educable mentally retarded, sir. I'm in special education." And the students started laughing. They said, "That's Leslie. That's not Wesley. He's DT. Wesley is the smart twin." He said, "What does DT stand for?" I said, I'm the dumb twin, sir." And as the students laughed at me, he came from behind his desk, he looked at me and he said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated, because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, "Look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be." And so we developed a relationship. And one of the things that I can just tell you as you think about your goals and dreams, all of us can say in a spirit of integrity that it's possible. That if anybody at any point in time lived their dream, that it's possible that I can live mine. And what I did was, I made a mistake. I looked at my goals and dreams, and my mind said, "How will you do that?" I went from my heart to my mind, and I stayed up there for 14 years. 14 years. I can't bring those 14 years back. Those years are gone. And I've made a mission in my life to help people to stop putting it off and procrastinating? How many ever thought about something you wanted to do and you procrastinated, you talked yourself out of it? Raise your hand, please. There's a proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And so, as you look at your goals and dreams, every day we must convince ourselves, we must sell ourselves on that it's possible. Every seminar, every workshop, every book that I've ever read, every speaker that I've ever heard, it interrupted what I was believing about myself. Everything that you do, everything matters. As you go through each day, I know now as I look back at age 63, looking at my life, everything matters. T. Harv is right. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I realized that the choices I was making was based upon how I saw myself. Let us say together, it's necessary. Write that down. It's necessary as you look at your goals and your dreams, it's necessary that you have a strategy and a game plan to change the story that you believe about yourself. And that's an ongoing process. I've discovered, and many people have, that what we do, what we accomplish, what we produce is a result of the story we believe about ourselves. My favorite book says, be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so as I began to work on myself, I realized that I'm getting out of one story and stepping into another story. As I become aware of some things, there's still some things I'm not aware of. So I'm still growing, I'm still developing. I'm like the lady who said, Lord, I ain't what I want to be, ain't what I'm going to be, but thank God I sure ain't what I was. But I realized that you have to work on yourself on a regular basis, and write this down, for mental mindset. Stamina. Because things are going to happen to you. I believe that the reason that most people go to their graves with their talents and abilities and skills in them is because of the fact, number one, many are like me. They didn't know that they didn't know and thought they knew. I thought I knew myself, and I really didn't know myself as well as I thought. I've discovered that sometimes people can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself. The other reason is I was afraid. I never worked for a major corporation. I wanted to speak for corporations. I was afraid I would be exposed because I don't have a college education. I felt inferior because of the fact that I don't have a college education. I allowed that level of fear of failure to stop me. And because I never had an experience in it, I assumed that I could not do it. I was paralyzing myself by believing and assuming the limited part of myself as opposed to believing that I had something special. You have something special. There's something you want to do. Because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean that you can't learn. I like something that I heard. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Repeat after me, please. Leap and grow your wings on the way down. See, the people that will live their dreams, the 2% that will do that, these are, and write this down, become a risk taker. They're risk takers. They don't mind failing. They don't mind making mistakes. They're willing to take life on, take life power. This, God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I like what Helen Keller said. She said, life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first.
All right. Hey, what a powerful message. Just wanted to start that out and put something on your minds before we get started tonight. Welcome to our Thursday night team call. I'm glad that everybody was able to make it. Was hoping that a few of our other affiliates would make it. Of course, things come up and you know, sometimes they can't. But I'm not going to hold up and talk a whole lot. You know, a big time introduction. I'm just going to go straight into what we're going to be talking about tonight. We made this night basically, we're going to dedicate this to the military. We said this is going to be Monday is going to be Memorial Day, and the country, they recognize veterans several times a year, and Memorial Day is one of those days. So what I want to do before we even get going, I want to give a shout out to all the veterans in the house. And I don't care if you I want to know everybody that's ever been in the Army or Air Force, Marines, whatever military branch of military you were in. If you was ever in the military, whether you was in it, whether you in it now, or whether you retired or whatever, I want you guys to go to the chat box and type in, what branch you was in and how long you served, and whatever else you want to put in there. But we want to recognize all of our veterans in the house. And I'll just tell you that I served in the Army for a little over 20 years. I retired in 2003, served proudly in the military. Okay, so as you guys look in the chat room, you guys can look down there and you can see everybody on the call tonight who has served in the military at one time or another. And I'll just tell you, I want to give a shout out, and everybody else, you guys can type in the chat room if you want to, and you can thank those guys for their service, okay? Just wanted to start right there, okay? And tonight's gonna be a little special for me because I got some of my old Army buddies on the call tonight for the first time. I'm gonna share a little bit of information first, and then I'm gonna invite those guys to say a little something to you tonight. Probably tell you some of those horror stories about Drill Sergeant Taft or Sergeant Taft as their platoon sergeant or tank commander. All right. So anyway, we titled tonight's call, an Army type commitment. All right, an Army type commitment, and we did that because in Karatbars you get people that are joining Karatbars all the time, and because it's free to join, a lot of times the commitment is just not there. Even though some people will come in and they'll pay $3,000 or $4,000 to get their position, and because it's, once they get their position, they just not committed. And sometimes it's not because they don't want to be committed. A lot of times it's because they don't really know what to do or how to do it. So they just don't, and they don't understand how important their commitment is. Okay. So what is an Army type commitment? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So what is an Army type commitment? Well, I'll tell you, when I first joined the Army back in 1983, right? I joined the Army because, I was looking for another way. I was trying to get out of the situation that I was in, which was, I was froze. I was froze in time. I didn't really understand life, what life was going to have for me. And I just didn't know. I knew what people had told me that I should be. They said, hey, man, you're so smart. You should do this. You should do that. And I kind of believed in that. So I kind of developed a dream of what I was going to do. But then when I got to that age, I didn't really want it. So I decided to go to the military. And when I did that, that was individual decision. Me joining the military, when I signed on that dotted line, that was a commitment that I made for myself. It was personal, it was individual, right? But when I signed on that dotted line, I didn't understand until I got to basic training and started going through basic training exactly what that commitment meant. But I found out real fast, right? So when we signed on the dotted line, I think everybody on the call who's been in the military, I think you guys have heard this phrase once or twice in your life. You're going to protect this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Am I right?
No doubt.
Okay. So that meant that it didn't matter whether you was gonna, you wasn't gonna sit in the motor pool all the time, every day. When they say you're gonna protect this country against all enemies, whether it be foreign or domestic, that meant that if we were sitting right here in the great state of Kentucky or in the great state of New York, and people started getting out of control, they could use us to go out there and defend our way of living, right? Or if they'll send us out to to the desert of Kuwait or out in the jungles of Africa or wherever, we were committed to protecting our way of life. And that meant giving up your, that meant laying down your life to protect this country. You gave up your life, you gave up your time, okay? So an army, and I say army because that's what I was in. It may be the military, it may be a police officer, whatever. But when you make a commitment like that, that is a true commitment, right? So again, I first came in, and I'm gonna tell you something real quick. So I was in basic training. And like I said, we had signed, all of us, everybody that was there had signed on the dotted line. And we all swore that we would, that we would protect this country. We would defend it against all foreign and domestic enemies, right? So about halfway through our training, our drill sergeants called us all in this big room. We call it a day room. He called the whole company in there. It was probably about 150 of us guys, right? And we were scouts. We were these 19 Delta Cavalry scouts. I'm talking about training to go out there and kill, And so they brought us in. This was in 1983. And Ronald Reagan was the president. And they had just declared, well, not really declared war, but we was over in Grenada. And we were starting this conflict with Grenada. We was getting ready to go over to Grenada and fight. So our drill sergeants called us in, and they played this. They showed us some stuff on TV. You know how the reporters come on and tell you that we get ready to go and invade Grenada and all this good stuff. And so they told us that, okay, so since you guys are just now joining the Army, we're going to give you a choice. And your choice is, I'll go and fight for the country, or I want to get out of the Army right now, decommit, from the military, go home and be with my family. So they were going to give us a choice. So they said, everybody who wants to go to war, who wants to fulfill their commitment and go to war, put their life on the line, I want you to come over here to the left side of the room. And then he put everybody who didn't want to go, who didn't really want to go, they wasn't really committed, he put them over on the right side of the room. So me, I was a 17-year-old kid, and I had to think. I was a platoon sergeant, platoon guy. That meant that I was kind of in charge of the platoon. So I was faced with this big time commitment. I'm like, shoot, you gonna give me a choice? Do I want to go to war or do I want to go home? I had to think about it for a couple of minutes, but I started thinking, I signed the dotted line. I made a commitment, and I told them that when I joined this Army, when I told my family when I left Oklahoma City and I got on that plane that I was joining the military, and a lot of them told me, man, no, don't do it. You hard-headed, you might not make it in the Army, but I made the commitment. So scared or not, I said, hey, I'll go. I'm going to fulfill my commitment. I went to the left side of the room. And thank God I did, because the drill sergeant was just fooling with us. They were lying. They wasn't giving us no choice. We signed that dotted line. We were going whether we wanted it. So needless to say, those dudes who went to the right side of the room, they got dusted. The drill sergeant. Okay. So anyway, I stuck to my commitment that day. Then I went on throughout my military career. I became a non-commissioned officer. I was in charge of soldiers, okay? And that's when the commitment went from, just being me, instead of me just saying, hey, it's all about me, I made a commitment to myself. I made a commitment to my soldiers. I was in charge of them. I was responsible to train these guys and to teach them how to survive in combat. Not just we had to take care of them on a daily, take care of the daily stuff too, and train them. But we were preparing these guys to go fight any war, whether it be over in Kuwait or whether it be in New York, whatever. We had to teach these guys how to survive in combat, right? So my commitment changed. And so I want Brother Luther Taylor. Luther Taylor, I met Luther Taylor. I had been in probably about 8 or 9 years at the time when I met Luther Taylor. I met him in, I believe it was 1993. No, yeah, 1993. I was stationed at Fort Hood. I was just coming from Korea, and I met this guy. The first day I went to the unit, I got there, didn't know nobody, stepped in there. This guy was standing in what we call the orderly room, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, what's going on, man? What's up?" I was, big time hardcore sergeant. I'm a E5 promotable, getting ready to be E6, and here come this E4 walking to the talking, "Hey, Sarge, what's going on, man? Welcome to the club," and all this and that. Well, needless to say, like I said, it went on. The story goes, we became really, really good friends, and then eventually they promoted me and made me. I ended up being his platoon sergeant. And so I'm gonna let Taylor kind of take over from there and share a couple of his experiences or share a little bit with us today.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, I tell you, this man here, oh my gosh, y'all just don't know. Y'all don't know. But yeah, when I came in the military, man, I was 29 years old. Y'all can hear me? Y'all got me? All right, 29 years old. And, a grown man, I came in on because it wasn't go to war, go to jail, it was run from child support. You know what I'm saying? I had to get in and do something. I had to find some way to pay it. And, I came on in and I had to commit. But when I got there, I didn't have the guidance I needed. I was just a soldier. But when Tav came in, he saw something in me I didn't see in myself, And yeah, me, I'm 29. I figure I'm good. I'm doing some things. That man, in the Army, I was a child. I ain't gonna lie. At 29 years old, I may have had the age, but the rank of a child. I came in there and Tav's is like, he was a hardcore charge. I like the way uniform stars, boots shine. Man, that's the emblem of what I wanted to be. But I was with a dude named Sergeant McCall, a little old, oh my God, I don't know what McCall was. But, Tav saw some good in me, man, and when we finally got together, he started giving me knowledge on a lot of things. He was talking business to me a long time ago because there was life after the Army. And Tav did something that nobody else ever did. I didn't know Women Auxiliary had luncheon at the NCO club on Thursdays. He took me out and showed me how to mingle with sergeant majors and how to interact with people on a different caliber. I never knew that. I was an old country boy from South Carolina. But by the time he got done with me, I was going to boards. I was learning how to interact with people. I knew how to address people. I wasn't scared of the rank no more. Because man, as a private, you scared of an E-76. But those are men too. And Tav taught me everybody put on their pants, one leg at a time. You know what I'm saying? Then we went down there, man, and he got me to training and, doing things. And boy, I'm going to tell you, as a tank commander, oh my God. Whew, some night I thought we were going to scrap. But he wanted the best for me. You know what I'm saying? We in UCOF, the sun coming up, sun going down. Goddamn, Taylor, focus. Get that damn mover. He was kicking my damn chair and everything. But it made me better. So that final day came, man, when we finally got together as a tank crew. And he told me, man, this is what we work for. This is why I've been on you. This is what I've done. As a leader, he showed me morally, spiritually, physically, everything about excelling, not being scared. Because like I say, I was a driver. Didn't want to get out that driver hole. Taz said, boom, you're getting out this driver hole. Because you got far more. I see better in you. I didn't see it in myself. That man took me at that driver hole, put me in that gunner seat. Hey, look, as a tank commander, he trained me so well. He can get off that tank, go to his meetings. When he come back, we ready. Red Car 1, baby. Let's go. He never doubted anything, never questioned anything. And he never had a reason to, because what he instilled in me, I knew that it was dedication, commitment, and loyalty. And when he gave me that reign, man, as a corporal, I thought I was God. Sergeant Major couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when we went down there, table 8, table 12, we set a precedent. We were the baddest. And I'm telling you, to this day, we still the baddest. Sergeant Tav got me a medal in the United States Army that only 2 tank crews ever got. I think it was 1940 something. And it was like 2003 or 2004 when we went and did that. Man, that's unheard of. Unheard of. But it couldn't have been done without his leadership, his dedication. And to this day, I show people that medal, they don't even know what it means. You know, but inside for me, man, that job brings tears to my eyes because we had a company commander that was like, y'all ain't this, and y'all, me and Taffer, they playing spades. Pow, pow, we killing them. He talking about focus, man, we are focused. Task like, bow, cut that mug. You know what I'm saying? That's what we did. Went down there on table 8, his high-speed gunner, man, Taff was so knowledgeable. We went down that range, shot a perfect night run. They even tried to trick us. We backed down. They gave us another shot. And Taff said, Taylor, watch him. They're going to bring up that other mover. I said, man, nah, we only missed the stationary because they had a malfunction. Sure as hell, they brought him up. Boom, boom, we put him down. From that, man, we was the baddest. Went down table 12, scored a 1,000. Son, never been heard of. That's a pride and a memory of a dedicated man that made me what I am today. And I couldn't have done it without him. Right now, 23 years, everything he taught me works with me in the civilian world. I'm a government contractor out here. And without him, I wouldn't have had that. I'm not scared. That intestinal fortitude. Man, that took me a long way. And I thought I was a grown man. He took me from a child and made me a man. Thank you, dog.
All right. Hey, boy, I tell you what. Hey, Taylor, I tell you what, brother. I'm going to put that check in the mail in the morning, man. Appreciate that, dog. That's from the heart. And that is true. You know, I mean, and it was because the guys that came before me, who the ones that I respected the most, instilled in me what I instilled in Taylor. And then, you know, my man Taylor right here, after we had been together for a couple of years, he brought this young man that I'm getting ready to bring on the mic now, I'm gonna introduce you to. Taylor came and said, Tab, I got one for you. Look at this guy. You know, he came in and, you know, we automatically, we hit it off like that. He wasn't in my platoon. He was in a different platoon dealing with a knucklehead platoon sergeant that didn't want to give him a shot. In fact, this young man, I'm getting ready to bring you out to you now. This guy was getting ready to get out of the military because his leaders didn't believe in him, you know? And so and it's only because of the way, who he was. You know, you saw in the video that I showed a few minutes ago, some people, if you allow people's perceptions of you to keep you down in life, then you're gonna be down. You're gonna be a loser. But Myers didn't. We didn't allow him to let himself go because he was thinking, well, hey, they're gonna put me out of the military, and it's simply because he had a person that didn't like his swagger because Myers was a street kid. This kid, I'll tell you what, he was a street kid, you know. But when you are committed and when you're dedicated, sometimes you can make a difference in people's lives, and that's what I was hoping to do with Myers. So, brother Myers, man, come on out and tell your. Go ahead. Well, I tell you what, and I had to pay Taylor. I had to give him everything I got. Come on out, brother James Myers, man. Come on out, man.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, all to you, man.
Man, I have some stories I could tell you about. It's on time, but you know, he's a great mentor. He, I guess you could say he rose me from a pup. I was 19 years old in the military and thought I knew it all. I really didn't have any male guidance in my life. Only thing I knew was, you know, just like they told you, the streets. That's all I knew at the time. And, you know, I came in with the mentality that, you know, people where I'm from New York, our life expectancy is, what, 20, 25 at the most. So for me, coming into the military, it was a shock to find out that somebody cared about you. And this man, he raised me and pretty much guided me through my 20-year service in the military, and I appreciate him for that. He was there when, like you said, when nobody believed in me, and I don't know, it was a long road. He had to jack me up a few times.
Yeah, boy.
He made me suffer a few times. I thought I was still a little thug on the street. And he'll go take me on a run and have me puking at times. So yeah,
And calling cadence.
he was a great mentor, and because of this guy right here, I'm proud to say I was able to retire. I was only gonna do my 3 years in the military and get out. And I didn't see a future until I met him. I mean, he taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to be a father. I watched him raise his kids, and
Yeah.
I learned a lot from this guy. We talk periodically every now and then, but I'm glad that God put you in my life, because I don't know where I'll be at right now. I was able to survive 4 combat deployments with his tutelage and what he taught me, and I was an outstanding tank commander as well, and I learned everything from him. He had me from PV2 pretty much to what I think when we parted ways, I think I just made E5. I think he guided me all the way to sergeant, but we always stayed in touch.
Yeah. But brother, hey, man, again, I appreciate you guys, man, for jumping on. And again, hey, man, we appreciate your service. These guys did. They stayed in to retire, both retired and doing well in life now, man. I am proud. These guys are like I say my brothers. Some people might say they like your son, but these are like my brothers. Because we hung out, had a good time. But when we went back to work, guys, they right. My boot, I had that golden boot that I put up that butt. But thank you guys, and hey, now guys, I'm gonna tell you again, thank you everybody for the service, all these military people. Now I'm gonna tell you real quick, guys, I didn't bring them on to try to boast my ego or anything like that. I said I wanted to show you guys what that commitment, when you're committed to do something. I was committed to them, and then they were committed to me, because believe it or not, the way it worked, these guys learned, they trusted me and believed in me. And so I was obligated. I had to do right by them, because again, I wanted these guys, when we went to combat, I didn't want these guys to end up not going out there, not knowing their jobs and dying because the lack of knowledge. And then these guys started to feel the same way about me. They started to be just as committed to me as I was to them. So we formed a great team. When we was on that tank together, I tell you, like Taylor just said, there was nobody better. Nobody could. We were determined. We would take anybody out. If it was in front of us, it was gonna die, right? So why did I say this? What am I talking about? I'm gonna relate this to Karatbars, okay? So now, years later, I'm building an organization, right? And in this organization, in Karatbars, our commitment to each other, we're a team. I'm just as committed to this team as I was to those guys back, because I was teaching them how to survive combat, how to survive life. And Karatbars, guys, Larry and I and all the leaders in Karatbars, we're trying to teach you a survival technique as well. But we're teaching you how to survive the financial crisis. We're trying to teach you how to avoid financial disaster, right? So yeah, I know a lot of you guys, and most of you guys on this call tonight are doing well in life, right? You guys got income coming in, you got savings, you got this, you got that. But I watch and I listen to people every day, and there's people out there they won't tell you they're struggling, but I know they're struggling. Remember, I do real estate, so I've got people who's having to sell buildings, their apartment buildings, not because they want to, they have to right now, because of the financial crisis that we're in right now. We've got department stores all across the world, all across the country, that's shutting down, filing bankruptcy because they didn't have a backup plan, right? So in Karatbars, what your commitment in Karatbars is, right, to the team, my commitment to the team was 2 things. Let me share my screen again real quick, and I want to show you something. Can you see my screen, Larry? Can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumb. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start from this right here. Okay. So it says, welcome to Karatbars. All right. Everybody now, new people on the line, on the call, if you don't know the business plan, you don't understand what Karatbars is, don't worry about it. Get back with the person who invited you to this call. And we're going to give you some information, and we're going to make sure that you get plugged into the team and learn how this thing works. I can just tell you that it is one of the most amazing companies I've ever seen in my 54 years on this earth. Okay, they do some great things, and I'm proud to be a member going on 5 years now. Okay, a disclaimer again: we're not a financial institution. This is a presentation not designed to give financial advice. You know, this is only for illustration purposes only. Okay, had to always put that in. But again, you know, Drill Sergeant Taft, you know, that was me in the military. I was a young man. I joined, and I was a young drill sergeant, 23, 24 years old, and I really loved what I did. But in Karatbars, okay, here's what we do, and we try to teach you guys to be committed for in Karatbars, or committed to in Karatbars. Okay, you join the team, and in Karatbars, when you join the team, the first commitment that we ask you guys to do is to save 1 gram of gold every single month, right? And there's a reason why, and I'll show you this in a few minutes why. But if you save 1 gram of gold every single month, right, it creates what we call a unit, 1 unit, right? So in this example, I just showed if everybody was to expand their teams by 5 people, right? And you do that as quick as you possibly can. Expand your team by 5 people. That means you got to talk to people. You got to share this opportunity with other people. So the first commitment is to save 1 gram of gold. The second commitment is to expand by 5, right? And if everybody expanded by 5, and in this illustration, what I did is I put Team Karatbars up here. Team Karatbars is like my sponsor, Larry Gating, and then everybody else above him, beside him, and around him are part of Team Karatbars. And then when I became in, this is you, this was me before, but this is you now. So now me, where am I at? I'm up here with Team Karatbars. I'm a part of Team Karatbars, but I'm still bringing people in. In fact, Brother Myers just joined our team today. He joined right before the call. He joined our team, right? So now, Myers, we're going to put you here. Let's say this is Myers. This is you, okay? So what we do is we get him involved involved and plugged in, and we say, okay, Myers, the first thing you want to do, man, is you want to save gold. And yeah, and I forgot to bring my gold with me. I'm going to show you guys if they haven't seen it yet. It is real pure, 24 karat, 99.9% bullion gold, right? It can be delivered to your house, or you can maintain it in a vault. They'll maintain it in the vault for you free of charge until you decide that you want to have it delivered to you. So save gold, reason, and again, we'll explain why. Most of you guys have been on the call before. You know why we save gold, but you want to save gold anyway because it increases in value over years versus your US dollar that decreases in value because of the inflation. But if everybody does this, right, when you come in, you save 1 gram of gold, then what you've done, your commitment to saving 1 gram of gold, it creates 1 unit that goes up to everybody in the team of Karatbars who came in before you. So if I sponsored Myers and Myers bought 1 gram of gold this month, I will get 1 unit. Larry will get 1 unit, and everybody above us will get 1 unit. That's in our generation. And you guys understand what generations is. So generations is like, I have a kid, that's my first generation. She's my first generation. And then she have a kid, my second generation. And then so far, you know, going down the line. So in Karatbars, the same way. Your kids will be the people that you expand, that you talk to about Karatbars. So when you bring 5 people in, Karatbars splits them up into 2 different teams, right? So let's say if you bring 5, 3 of them will probably, it doesn't work out exactly like this, but I'm just saying for illustration purposes only. 3 of them go to your left, 2 of them go to your right. That's 5 people. So now all 5 of those, we're going to tell them to do the same thing that you did. make a commitment to do 1 gram of gold a month. So you got 3 people on your left and 2 people on your right saving 1 gram of gold, and then they're going to expand theirs by 5. So that means your second generation will have 15 people. If your 3 people expand by 5, on your right team, they will have 10, right? And then if those 15 on your third generation, if they do 5, that'll be 75 people on your left team. And then you go down to your fourth generation, those 5 people, those 75 people expand by 5. That's 375 people, all right? Exponential growth. And it goes down to infinity. I just went down 4 generations, but it goes down to infinity, right? Because everybody's going to be teaching everybody the same thing. Well, if everybody does this, but if we just take it down to 4 generations, that means you would have it would be you plus all the people in your generations. That will give you 781 people that's given 1 unit to Karatbars every single month. Because if commitment number 1, you committed to saving 1 gram of gold. And if all 781 people are saving 1 gram of gold a month, then 1 unit goes up to everybody that's a part of Team Karatbars that came in before you, right? And you say, well, how did that benefit me? Well, I'll tell you, because you are going to be, once you start expanding your teams, now you become a part of Team Karatbars as well, right? Now, what this means over here, so let me break it down. So over here, we understand we got 781 people giving 1 unit. You getting 1 unit, everybody's just buying 1 gram of gold or saving 1 gram of gold a month. So now what happens is Karatbars says you can come in as for free, and you can make money in Karatbars if you want to for free, but the only way you're going to do that is by referring other people. And if those other people that you refer come in and buy something, then you're going to get a direct commission from it, right? But now what we're talking about tonight is the dual team, the DTP. That's a dual team payout. So that's why those units, your commitment to us or to the Karatbars, to yourself and to Karatbars, when you make that commitment, you creating units, that's going to start creating what we call dual team payouts. And how do you create a dual team payout? Well, down here at the bottom, what I put it at, this thing is in the way, over here on the right. So DTP equals, so if you want to get a payout, every time you get 50 units on one side, 25 units on the other side, that creates a dual team payout, right? So on the left team, you created 468 units. On the right team, you created 312 units, right? And if you divide this, because 50 units come out every time you get a dual team payout on one side, then 25 on the other. So anyway, if you take 50 units and divide that into your 468, that's going to give you 9 dual team payouts, right? Now, what this example over here is, it shows you that we got 4 different levels. We got a bronze, silver, gold, and VIP level, okay? And this right here is what each one of those levels get paid at. So you do the same, it doesn't matter, you're going to still do the same. You expand, if you got 781 people saving 1 gram of gold, if you are bronze, you get 40 euros every time you get a payout. So for this example, you get 9 dual team payouts for those units that you created. And so that if you was a bronze, you get 9 times 40, which is what, $360, right? And then, so that's down at the bottom where you see it. So at the bronze, it'd be $360. And then for a silver, same thing, you would get paid 450, gold 540, VIP 720 euros, right? Every time for those 9 payouts, okay? So that's how and why, one reason why you want to be committed to Karatbars and committed to 1 gram a month and committed to bringing in 5, right? And you can do more. You can bring on as many people as you want to. I personally sponsored, I think with Myers coming on tonight, that'll give me 60 individual people that I personally sponsored myself, okay? My team is about probably altogether, I think I got about 425 people on my team, okay? I don't want to go there. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you one other thing, and there's another reason why you want to, let me find it. There's another reason why you want to save, and I won't even show the slide, but Karatbars have a long-term incentive, and the only way you be able to get these long-term incentives are to do this. You got to be on this auto, what they call auto save, every single month. So you saving at least 1 gram a gold. You can save more, you can save less, right? But when you save your 1 gram of gold a month, then you automatically start qualifying, depending on how long you save it. But you automatically start qualifying for what they call these long-term incentives. And the long-term incentives is something like, what do they call those watches? Those fancy watches. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Rolex. Yeah, there you go, a Rolex watch, right? And then, and we know several people on the team has qualified for those Rolex watches, right? But they couldn't do it if they didn't have a dual team package. If they wasn't at least a bronze or one of those other packages, and then saving at least 1 gram of gold a month, you wouldn't qualify for those long-term incentives. We had a guy in our group named Michael Dalco. He's one of the top earners in Karatbars. He just recently earned his Mercedes-Benz, right? So you can get Mercedes-Benz. I'm not talking about how some of these other companies say you get these cars, they give you a voucher where you can kind of make the payments on it every month. No, Karatbars go right across the street from our headquarters in Germany, because that's where we're headquartered at. They right across the street is the Mercedes-Benz manufacturer headquarters. And so they go over there, they order your car, it's paid for, it is your car. Or if you don't want the car because you're making so much money, you understand the value of gold, you can tell them, I don't want the car, I want the amount of gold, whatever the car, like that car is $40,000. So instead, Michael Dalco didn't take the car, he took the $40,000 worth of gold, which was a smart. He can buy a car, he got cars already, okay? So anyway, these are the reasons why, guys, we ask you guys to be committed, because, we want you to qualify, we want to qualify, but we need people to make Army type commitments, man. We're trying to help you, we're trying to help ourselves, and we're trying to help our families, and save them from financial disaster, okay? So with that being said, my next buddy that I'm gonna bring out, who is my buddy for over 30 years, he's another Army guy, another tanker. Larry is the one that is responsible for me being in Karatbars. He's gonna share with you guys some really good information about finance, and it's something that I don't really, he know a whole lot more about it than me. He's very educated, and I'm gonna let him come on in and do his thing and take us on out.
What's going on, brother? Hey, it's good to see everybody on. Man, I really enjoyed hearing those stories about you, Al. and I get it. And Luther, you mentioned McCall. I think I know that guy, man. We were instructors at the NCO Academy together. So I remember McCall from down there. He came from Hood, I think. But Myers, man, I can relate to all you guys' stories. Sergeant Major, it's always a pleasure to have you on, and the other folks as well. It's great to have you here. Al, thanks for breaking that down. But also I'm going to add to that, because it is a commitment, and because just as you are committed, as you were committed to being in the military, the system, and and I hate to use that word systems, but the system has been committed to keeping people clueless. As you guys know, I always talk about the education system being taken out of the schools, the financial literacy being taken out of the schools. But I'm gonna share. Let me find this PowerPoint. I'm gonna share this with you real quick. It just blows my mind with the things that happens in finances that we know nothing about. And I have to always go to this timeline, to this matrix. And this is what I want you guys to understand. First of all, think about this, we spend 21 years in an education system. Now, there's nothing wrong with education. I'm a huge proponent of education. I'll have my PhD within the next couple of years, but Al, I have an ulterior motive for that. I ain't trying to teach. Well, I am, but not what they think I should be teaching. I'm doing something totally different. Bigger dream, brother. But 21 years, we spend in the education system that doesn't teach us anything about personal finances, doesn't teach us anything about financial literacy. So 5 years old, you go into the school system, you stay in 21 years. Hey, you're 26 years old. And by the time you get out of college, where are you? You are in what? You are in debt. College loans. Yes, you're in debt. And then we do the next thing. Guess what we do? We go out there and we work. We stay in the workforce for about 40 years, and then we retire between 62 and 65. Well, that's old news. Not quite like that anymore. But can you imagine being locked into a system to where you don't get any financial literacy at all in the education system, and then you go out and you go to work? You learn how to make money, don't you, Luther? You learn how to make that money, but do you learn how to keep it? But more importantly, do you learn how to make that money work for you? See, that's what we're missing. We out there working for dead guys. We need to make dead guys work for us. And that's what I love about this company. So, hey, I got to go here, because when you think about this now, and I want you guys to think about this, 23% of married couples and about 43% of unmarried persons rely on Social Security for 90% or more of their income. So you mean to tell me that I went to school for 21 years, then I worked for 40 years, and now I have to rely on Social Security as my main source of income? But why is that? Why? I mean, where did I go wrong? I learned how to make a whole lot of money. Al, you know that. I had a 6-figure salary. I learned how to make it. But that's all I learned. I didn't learn how to make it work for me. So 90% or more, they rely on all that. So what do we do? And why is that? That's what I want to know. Why? You ever get your credit card statement? Al, we talked about this the other day. Remember this? We just talked about this. Listen, this just became law a few years ago to where they had to make it mandatory to show you how much interest you would pay on your loan or on your credit card if you just made the minimum payment. We just talked about this, Al. This is one of the reasons. Well, I want to go travel. I want to go see my brother. I don't want to carry all this cash. So what? I get a credit card. I'll pay it off. I'll pay it down later. I'll just pay it off once I get back home. And what do? You don't pay off nothing. You keep doing what? You keep charging. Because they didn't teach us this in school. They didn't teach us not to charge in school. Huh. See, y'all gonna make me go there. And listen, and even Al, even when you think that, hey, this is me, even when you think you're doing right, you go out there, oh yeah, I know we didn't make anything in the Army. I'm blessed and I'm thankful for what I did make. But you know what? It wasn't a huge salary in the military. But once I retired, man, I was banking. So I wanted to live high on the hog. Thought I was all high and mighty when it got me a investment portfolio, got my prospectors, got my broker, and put a whole lot of money out there in the market. And what I didn't realize that everything was tied to the same rope, that was tied to the same brick. And when it all went down, guess what? It all went down. And you talk to your broker and you ask your broker, how much are my fees? How much am I paying you? Well, typically it's 1% of whatever you have invested. That's typically, so you're paying somebody 1% of what you have invested. That's what you see on the first page of the prospectus. But you start dialing and doving in the rest of those pages, the rest of those 25, 30 pages, let me tell you what you're going to find. You're going to find the same thing that I found. I thought I was paying 1%. No, I wasn't. Because I had mutual funds, I had to pay what's called a 12B1 fee. That's just to manage the mutual funds. And then I had management fees. And then I had wrap fees. Wrap fees? What is that? Yeah, wrap fees, mortality and expense fees, turnover percent. So you mean to tell me that every time my mutual funds get sold, guess what? I have to pay a fee? Yes. Trading costs. You mean I have to pay the person who's trading this? So it's not my manager? Yes. And then there's account fees. And on top of that, taxes. So I'm trying to do the right thing, but I never learned this in school because financial literacy was taken out of the school system. These are things that I had to learn on my own, and I thought I was doing the right thing, but it wasn't working. Hold on, because now this is, don't judge me, Al, don't judge me, but here, but listen, when you think about the retirement age, and we all think about retirement, and retirement means different things to different people, you know, but for retirement age changed a few years back. It changed for me because I was born in 1967. I can't retire until I'm 67 to get my full retirement. But listen, boy, I'm gonna have to do a class on this, Al, just to make sure that everybody understands how Social Security works. So I have to give you a disclaimer. Number one, I do not work for the Social Security Administration, but I do know quite a bit about Social Security. Here's the thing. When Social Security started back in 1935, there were 42 people, y'all. I want you to hear this. There were 42 people paying in for every one person that was taken out. This was in 1935. So for every 42 people paying in, you only had one person taken out. Here's the other thing. Back then, though, back then the life expectancy was 62 years old. So if you made it to 65, if you made it to the retirement age, you were able to draw your retirement for a couple of years, and then guess what? You died. Wow. So let's fast forward to today. So today, there are about 3 people paying in for every one person that's taken out. So you think your Social Security is going to get you there? It isn't. So again, 3 people paying in for every one person that's taken out. 10 years from now, it will be for every 2 people paying in, 1 person will be taken out. The average person today, not like in 1935, but the average person today draws Social Security for 23 years. That's a long time. The numbers worked back in 1935. Guess what? They don't work today in 2020. For Social Security to last, they're going to have to make some kind of changes. And you guys heard this. Social Security is going to run out. Yeah. There was a study that was done in 2017 where they analyzed the funds for Social Security and for disability. And you know what they found? They found that if we keep doing the same thing, Social Security is going to run out by 2029. That's 9 years from now. Wow, I hope you're hearing me. I hope that you hear me. So if Social Security is not going to run out, they're going to have to make some changes. First, you know, they could adjust the age. Right now it's 67 for full retirement. They could take it to 68, 69, or even 70 years old. They can remove the cost of living adjustment, meaning that you just get a flat rate. It doesn't move with inflation. They might say because you get a nice pension, you've done well in your workplace, your employer has taken care of you, your investments are doing well, you're not going to get a Social Security. They're going to give that to the lower wage person. So again, something's going to have to give pretty soon because Social Security is going to run out. I have never planned on living off of Social Security. That's never been my plan. I'm not a right now thinker, I'm a forward thinker. And that's what I need you guys to be. I need you to be forward thinkers and do something for yourselves right now. I'm telling you, and you can do that with this company. So we got to stop thinking about what we're going to live off of later. You start planning something for yourself today. And that's what I love about what we do. We plan for tomorrow. Now, this is what I want you to do, guys. I want you, when you see a correlation, what do we all have in common? When you know what the commonality is, I want you to type it in the chat. Al, watch the chat for me. When you figure out the commonalities, I want you to tell me what the commonality is on what do we all have in common. And I guarantee you, you're going to be surprised. Here's the first one, George Washington. Abraham Lincoln, Harry Truman, Grover Cleveland. What do these guys have in common? Anybody know? What do these guys have in common? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Harry Truman, Grover Cleveland.
They're all presidents.
They're all presidents. Okay, well, let's keep going. Andrew Johnson, he was a president, right? What about this guy? J. Paul Getty. Was he a president?
Billionaire, just a rich guy.
Okay, well, let's just keep going then. Ray Kroc. Who was Ray Kroc, Al?
Well, Ray Kroc is big time been the guy. He was the guy that he didn't invent McDonald's, but he bought it from him and expanded it. He's the one that started the concept, the duplication concept.
Ah, okay. Dave Thomas.
Wendy's owner.
That's right. Ralph Lauren. Peter Jennings, the news anchor. Huh. Lakeith Sheen. Quentin Tarantino. Wait a minute now. See, now I don't know, fellas and ladies. I don't know what all they have in common. Oh, wait a minute. See, now you just threw me. Richard Pryor. What do these guys have in common? Steve Jobs? I'll tell you what they have in common.
What is it, brother?
What they have in common is these folks that you see on the screen, most of them didn't go to college or finish college. The other ones didn't even graduate high school. So we learn to go to high school so that we can earn a huge salary, but these guys didn't. Some of them didn't even, Ray Kroc didn't even graduate high school. Dave Thomas didn't even graduate high school. Ralph Lauren didn't graduate from high school. Peter Jennings didn't graduate from high school. So they never got wrapped up in that same system of debt that we got wrapped up in. They figured it out. Well, how well did they figure it out? I'll tell you, Bill Gates figured it out. $79 billion. Are you, Ortega, $65.5 billion, never graduated? Are you kidding me? Lillian Bettencourt, $39 billion. This is what I'm saying, team. Again, I have nothing against the education system. Well, I do. One thing, they didn't educate us about financial literacy. They didn't. They didn't educate us about financial literacy. We had to learn it on our own. So let me ask you, what did you learn from your folks about finances? And it's not their fault because they didn't learn it either. But we can do something different about that. We can do something different. You know, I remember in one of our day rooms, we had a stool, and that stool had one broke leg on it. It was a 3-legged stool, but that third leg was broke, y'all. And you sit on that stool, and what's going to happen? You're going to bust your behind. It is the same way with your finances. If one of these legs break, if Social Security goes away, what happens to your finances? If you lose your savings, what happens to your finances? What happens to it? If the things that produce income for you goes away, what happens to that leg? What happens to your butt? I'll tell you, you're gonna bust it wide open. And when it comes to savings, I will tell you, when you are saving just in dollars, saving in dollars is killing your money slowly and silently, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it, team. But what if we could strengthen that stool? Yeah, we can hope that Social Security is there. Yeah, we can have our savings. But what if you start saving in gold? I mean, what if, Al? What if you start saving in this pure physical 9999 gold bullion? What if you start saving in this? Or what if you start saving in this? What if, to strengthen your stool, what if you start acquiring your cryptocurrencies, the KBC coins? And what if you build your network of gold savers? See, I'll tell you, we've been trained since day one in high school or in elementary school, how to form a line, how to walk in a straight line down the hallway, how to file into your classroom, how to sit in your chair, how to ask specific questions. But then when you get the answer wrong, you get scolded for it. Build wealth with what we have. So what do we do? Let me tell you, fellas, what we do. And I'm so glad that my military brothers are on here, because it is so important for you to understand this. Even with a listen, if you guys don't get anything else out of this, I want you to hear my heart on this. Even with military retirement, you do not have enough. They never taught us anything about networking. They taught us how to be a good battle buddy. We learned how to, protect our left and our right, our front, our flanks. We learned how to do all that. But listen, you have protected your country for years and you are still doing it today, but you're letting your finances get slaughtered because we just don't know. We just don't know because we have been held clueless for years. But no more, fellas. The buck stops here. I can't be clueless anymore. I can't let my brothers and my sisters be clueless anymore. And I'm going to finish it with this, Al. Many families are economically challenged, even before COVID-19, but now even more so. Families are economically challenged because they never got the financial literacy that they needed. Families in poverty are affected hard by COVID-19. Why? Because poverty is correlated to underlying health conditions like hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, and those are the folks that are get taken out first, okay? Systemic inequalities calls for systemic solutions, and that's what I believe. And that's what we're doing with Karatbars. We are implementing a systemic solution. Here's the other thing. If you look at it, the majority of essential workers are people who have to trade time for dollars, but they have to leave their homes to do it. There are a lot of people who can work from home right now, but there are a whole lot of essential workers who can't. They have to get out there. And I'll tell you, COVID-19 doesn't care who you are. It does not. And let me just say this. This is not a COVID-19 platform. This is not a COVID-19 call, but this is a platform to educate you about the past, to help get you positioned and prepared for whatever comes next in your future. Not in the future, but what comes next in your future. You've been clueless for years. And when I say you, I mean me. But no more. I am no longer clueless, and I will educate anyone who will take the time to be educated on personal finances, because it's that important for us to take care of us. And you have to take care of your own financial situation first. You have to get educated first. Do you first. So thank you, fellas, for already registering. Next, get your KYCs approved and you start saving in gold. That is your gold. That's not Al's. That's your money. Pure money. That's yours. And then you build your teams and you start getting free gold. And you start to do what's called arbitrage, and you get cryptocurrencies that are linked to gold. And you build your portfolio that you don't have to have anybody else manage. No one manages my portfolio but me. So when I thought I was paying my broker 1%, yeah, technically I was paying him 1%, Al. But when you go through my whole prospectus, I was paying over 5% for my entire prospectus. And I'm not going to tell you how much money they came out to, but it was a whole lot that I was just giving away. And you know what? When the market crashed in 2008, guess who still got paid? I didn't. My broker did. So, all right. I'm done, Al.
All right. Hey, brother. Well, thank you, Larry, for sharing with us, man. Again, your knowledge is just, man, it's amazing, man. Can't put a price on it. It's priceless. And what you bring to this team, man, I appreciate your tutelage and all the information that you give to me on a daily basis and the help that you give me. And I tell you, man, it's just, we thank you. And team, I tell you, we're going to let you get off of here. Glad whoever was able to jump on the call early and check out that video. I hope it was powerful. I mean, it was a powerful message to me. I mean, it really, I mean, hey, man, the dude knocked it out the box, and he pointed a finger at you, but he also pointed a finger at himself, you know. Again, don't forget, you know, we depend on you. We know we don't ever want to leave our battle buddy on the battlefield, you know, but just because we keep moving don't mean we've left you behind. We'll reach back and we'll get you, but we can't allow the mission to stop. We got to keep on moving, because we do have a lot of people on our team that's looking for us, and they're looking at us. You know, they're saying they want to see what the leaders are doing. You know, remember in the Army or at your job or whatever, you know, profession you have, if you had somebody who was a supervisor above you or somebody who thought they could do it better than you, you looked at them and you judged them. And if they was a weak leader or they wasn't doing the right things, you didn't really look up to them. You kind of look for somebody else or another way to do things. So here again, Taylor and Myers, man, appreciate you guys for jumping on here, man. Don't let this be the last time. We need to get together, man. Myers, you've already filled out the application to start your free account. Taylor, you need to do it, man. And then what we need to do is I need to get together and show you guys step by step on how this thing really works and how you can start saving like we are. Again, thank you everybody for joining the call. And hey, don't forget, every single night, well, 6 nights a week, goldrocks.info, 2 times a day, they show the business plan. So anybody that you know that you want to talk to and share with them this opportunity, send them to goldrocks.info. And at 12 o'clock p.m. on Eastern or 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 2 times a day, you can send them there to get the information on how this business works. And then they can always call one of us. If you got anybody that you want to, share this opportunity with, get one of us on the call. We'll do a 3-way call with you. We'll explain some stuff to them, and then we'll lead them to the information. Tonight, they got a power call at 10 o'clock at goldrocks.info. If anybody wants to jump on, plug in, learn, and share the information. Thank you guys. And man, we'll be back here next Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Come on back and invite more people. Let's grow this team together. Again, thank you, Larry. Thank you, everybody. And Taylor, Myers, let's get in touch. Let's be in touch, man. Thanks again.
Awesome. Great meeting you guys. Hey, team, don't forget to check the latest news in your Karatbars account. There's always information there. Make sure you check it. See what it says about the card, the prepaid MasterCard. That contract is ending, but that's okay because it's going to get gooder. Got a new card coming. All right. Awesome call.
All right. Good night, everybody.